What is up, nerds? Welcome to episode 50. Can't believe we made it. Of the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, here with Pickleball Pursuit, with my co-host, Justin from Pickleball, etc. Justin, can you believe it? We made it to Big 5-0.
Can't believe it. It's actually kind of crazy. Look.
Yeah.
I got a shirt for my troubles. 50 episodes, and all I've gotten is a shirt. So
that's it. Nothing else. Not even nothing. Man, be honest. Be truthfully honest. How many episodes did you think we were going to make it when we first started?
Dude, I don't know. I guess it's kind of changed over time, right?
Yeah.
Because we just looked this up. Episode 1 was over a year ago.
Yeah.
So when we first started...
May 30th, 2024, to be exact.
Yeah. So 14 months, basically. When we first started, who knows, dude? It was rough. It was dark. It was, the quality was low. Okay. It wasn't shaking up, okay? And
my favorite part was you were like, I feel like my GoPro is pretty good.
Well, we've come a long way.
We've come a long way.
So in the beginning, I don't know. I didn't know we were going to do it like 5 times ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe once we were like 20 episodes in or something, it was time. We're like, okay, I'm about to upgrade the equipment.
Yeah.
And then it felt like, all right, we're just going to keep doing this for the long haul. Who knows? So on to 100. Here we go.
I was in the same boat. I was like, maybe 5. We might get 5 episodes deep. Who knows? Before we started the first one, and by some strange miracle, all you nerds just watch our podcast, and I still don't understand it. But
look, I'm not saying it's all the podcast, but when we first started, you had like 2.6K subs.
Yeah.
So. And I know it's not all the podcast because you've been doing
massive,
a lot, but
6.5, baby, a huge. I'm a giant.
I mean 6.5 is still pretty tiny.
I would say that's like a micro influencer in the grand scheme of things.
It's a micro channel. Yeah, you got a micro channel.
Yeah,
but
PP
hey,
micro
it's still
channel.
Like 3 times more than it was. So that's growth. You're a grower.
Yeah, I wish. Well, here's the thing, guys. We have promised a nice little surprise for you guys. So we have 3 very intriguing giveaways, if you will. Not giveaways, 3 very intriguing discount code offers from a couple of companies. I'm going to run through
those. You're downplaying it. I feel like this is good, We were trying to do something cool for episode 50, and of course, we need the brands to partner with us to make it happen. And,
for sure.
They came through. So I think these deals are like legitimately pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Tell them what they are.
They're crazy. All right. So before we get into this, thank you so much to Chorus, Honolulu Pickleball Company, and Bread and Butter for offering to be a part of this giveaway. I thought those were 3 companies that kind of embodied a lot of what we love in pickleball, which is innovation and people trying to do things that are a little bit different than others. And I just stand behind, almost every product that all of these companies, make. They make good, high quality products, albeit some of them are not my favorite paddles to play with. Still think they're all extremely high quality. So we are going to go first. Chorus Pickleball is offering 50% off codes for any paddle, basically. I think you can use it on anything, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously the paddles...
No blemishes or anything like that.
No blemishes, okay, yeah. So 50% off any new paddle, which is, to give you context, $75 for a super court, which is crazy deal. That is like a no-brainer buy. Now, this is 25 codes, first come, first serve. So if this is something you're interested in, you can do it now. Code PP50. One of my favorite codes I've ever gotten. PP50. So that's the first one from Chorus. The second one is from Honolulu Pickleball Company. This has no cap. So you can use this code as many times as you want until I think they, until they stop it, which is 50% off any J4K, J4K Pro, J2KC. I can't remember if they have a J2KC Pro, or the J2XK J2K and J2XK Pro. So 50% off of those paddles. There's no cap. You can use this code as many times as you want. So I would say of those 3 paddles, the J2KC, even though that's a paddle that I really didn't talk too much about, it's a very, very good paddle, which is the J2K with a middle layer of fiberglass. So it adds a little bit more pop. If you've been a J2K person and you just can't quite deal with the power paddles, J2KC is a really, really stellar option. J4K is that ultra wide body. I tell Jam that's his ugly child. And then the J2XK is the first attempt of the long handle J2K. So 50% off those paddles in the pro models as well. The third, and this one's
PP50?
PP50. Yeah, sorry. Same code, PP50. And then there is Bread and Butter, who's giving away 50% off codes for the Bread and Butter FORWRD Court Caddy collab bag. So 50 of those, code PP50. First come, first serve on that one. That one's kind of crazy because that bag is extremely nice. I would say it's probably the nicest bag that I've ever seen. Not necessarily just pickleball related. It is super high quality, super robust, and just a really high quality product. That code PP50 brings it down to $150, which is an insanely good deal. So thank you, Bread and Butter. Thank you, Honolulu Pickleball Company. Thank you, Chorus Pickleball, for partnering in this and giving the viewers something special. Really, really appreciate it. I might have to go buy a court caddy.
I said the same thing when you told me the deal.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I'm going to wait and let you guys have a few days at it. But man,
yeah, if there's some left.
If we're like 10 days after this and they haven't all been used, I might grab one.
Yeah, huge thank you to, those owners. We talked about what should we do for episode 50. A couple people mentioned it in the comments. We've been talking about this for a few weeks now. And, I was like, man, we should see if anybody will do any 50% off codes, even if they're limited. And it was kind of a crazy idea. I didn't know who would necessarily take us up on that, but we got a few for you guys. I mean, they are limited, of course, as you'd expect, but I feel like a little bit proud of that, if we've been able to do anything.
It's crazy.
By spending hundreds of hours making this podcast over the last year, we've gotten some good deals for you. Just
That's right.
Few, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, not as gigantic as Chris's. What did he do? Like some crazy 100 paddle giveaway thing?
Hey, we don't compare it to Chris, all right? We better just stop before we go down that road, or else we'll never feel good about ourselves.
I know. He's just a precious angel and just better at everything than me. Full stop. He can read a lot better than me, too. All right. Well, since we're 50 episodes deep, let's... If you have is there any moments that stick out to you? It doesn't have to necessarily be your favorite one. Just some moments. What were some good moments that you're like, oh, that was fun, or that was good. That was something I'm proud of.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want you guys to participate in this as well. If you guys have been listening for a while, comment like your favorite or funny or most memorable moment from the podcast, because that'll be fun for us to read. Obviously, you don't have to, but I'll enjoy reading those. For
you
me,
have to do it.
The moment that like stands out the most isn't necessarily the most fun, but it's the breaking the news that titanium isn't real titanium thing.
Yeah.
The reason why I put quotes around that is because I had no idea it was going to blow up.
Yeah, that one
was interesting.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, and I didn't think I was saying anything crazy or sharing anything necessarily groundbreaking, but it became this whole thing around it that it was like some piece of groundbreaking investigative journalism that I found out that every brand is lying and no one's really using titanium.
Pissed people were?
Yes, yeah. So, and then we had to literally record a follow-up on it the next week, if you remember, and I had to like do some clarifications. And then 2 weeks after that, we had to talk about it again because it was just, buzzing. And then now some of the brands were changing their descriptions on their websites
PET,
about what is titanium, or is it polyester or PET. And then now we're in this stupid place where everyone has to say titanium and PET or polyester, and it's just more confusing than it ever was. So
Yeah.
who knows? I may have done a disservice or not, but yeah, that was fun. So that was interesting and ended up, getting a little bit more engagement than I expected. So that's like the thing I remember. The biggest thing, at least.
Yeah, I would say my favorite, it's not even a moment. It's just how much both of us have grown since we started this podcast. When we started, we sucked at pickleball. Pretty bad. We weren't terrible. We were, barely approaching 4-0. Now we're barely past 4-0, so we suck just a little less, but I feel like I feel like we've definitely gotten a lot better. We've had a lot of fun. We've said a bunch of stupid shit, and I mean, what else can you ask for, dude? We're just farting around.
Our relationship has grown.
Our relationship has grown tremendously. Yeah, we started out as podcast co-hosts. Now Justin is my pickleball wife. Left Side
when
Daddy.
We first did the first episode, we barely knew each other.
Barely. Yeah, we barely knew each other. Now, as soon as the cameras turn off, we just hate each other. I'm kidding. Justin and I, we talk all the time. You're just a swell dude. So cute, so sweet. You look so good in that shirt. But lots of favorite moments. But obviously, the titanium one was probably one that was like, oh, that was pretty cool to be a part of. Even though I'm just sitting here listening to you talk. But yeah, that was a good one. All right. Well, speaking of how good you look in that shirt, obviously, Justin and I are both wearing our Pickleball Pursuit merch t-shirts. So these Q-zips are available. Well, whatever. I mean, you own that one, so technically ours. Yeah. These shirts are available on pbpursuit.com/shop. There are only 18 left. So
I was wondering.
There's not a whole lot left. I don't think there's any XLs. There's only large, mediums, and a couple smalls. So if you want to grab one, they are $36 plus shipping. And I mean, Justin, you're finally wearing them. What are your thoughts now that you've worn it?
Nice, actually.
It's played in
nice. I did play in it. And you and I have both worn like the stack zip shirts quite a bit. And I got to say, dude, I like this one better. People are going to say I'm biased, but it feels actually a little lighter. So in the summer, I like it better.
Yeah, I would agree.
And the collar is good. I don't know if you can tell, but it doesn't go up too high, but it's got like a little bit of a short collar on it. So it's got that look. I don't go full zaddy mode because I actually have some hair. So I go for the half zip.
Wish you would.
No, but the logo's cool too. Feels good, feels quality, and looks good, like even up close. So yeah, it fits good. Fits like an athletic fit, but it's not too like tight. Some athletic fits are like too tight right here. Give me a little muffin top.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah. So let everything breathe, everything flow.
Here's the best endorsement. I don't know if you know this, but I liked it so much I asked you for the link, and I've been chatting with the supplier, and I'm pretty sure I'm ordering some. Etc. ones. So
let's go.
That won't be black, and that it will be different than yours. I'm not going to make them for sale. I'm going to make them essentially for like myself, for work, or my clients, or give it away.
Do a limited drop. Just like get like 20 extras if anybody wants one. I guarantee you.
Let's
comment down below.
We talked about this.
Comment down below. Would you like an Etc. shirt
that is a consulting firm? Like Pickleball Etc. is a pickleball consulting firm. That's not a cool shirt to wear. It's that logo right there. If you guys can see, like the little ETC. The shirt's going to be like a light gray, like a bone color sort of. And then this will be, my like brand blue. It's almost like a cyan blue. Just a little ETC in the same spot. Same silicone logo. I just fully copied you.
Who cares?
I fully copied those, I think
other people. So it's like, that's art, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing's original anymore. Everything is copy.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just going to get some for myself at least, and friends and family and clients. We'll see.
And me, your pickleball husband.
You can have one. You can be listed in the friends and family. Or maybe in the clients at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Oh.
Imagine how dumb you were before we met.
Dude.
basically been consulting you for a year straight.
I know. I think my IQ went up from like 3 to 4 now, so getting a little smarter. All right.
Ready to
We're gonna move on
dive
to
into
the topics,
regular stuff?
Yeah, regular, just the
ordinary
ordinary
podcast.
You have the topics.
That's an inside joke.
what we're talking about?
What'd you say?
You have the topics, right? Do you want to tell people what we're talking about, or do you want me to do it?
All right, here's what we're talking about. Paddles.
Bam.
No, just kidding. We're talking about the new Honolulu NF shapes. You guys have probably heard about those already, but we've been playing with them a little bit. We got them here. Mm-hmm. The Boomstik is still relevant, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We'll finally able to share some dates with you guys, if not full specs, and we'll do a little comparison. Lewis apparently has found the king of the water bottles, so that's going to be a thing for him. Yeah. Then we'll dive into our normal segments. Net gains, see if we're ever going to get better. New week, new main. What are we playing with? And in NERDTOWN, we're going to do a little Gen 3 versus Gen 4 topic, kind of cover the differences. And I have some show and tell items over here.
Wow.
And I'll probably soapbox rant about why I'm tired of the Gen name. So
I'm with you as well. Hate it. All right, we'll start first with probably the most interesting paddle that people want to hear about, which is the J2NF long handle. So I have both. I did a little comparison of these. Video, and as you can see, sorry, I'll move it over here so you can see the handles.
Oh, I don't even have the regular one here.
You don't have the regular?
Nope.
That's okay. Let me move my iPad.
What we call
so
the short handle.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a pretty substantial difference in terms of the handle length and neck taper. This is, and Justin will probably confirm, it's probably the best handle length and taper on a hybrid shape paddle that I've ever felt, which is high praise, because there's a couple that are really freaking good out there. And this one just marginally, in my opinion, just kind of edges them out. So it truly is like a 5.65 to 5.7 inch handle.
Yeah, 5.7 inch.
Yeah. You can over grip it up right up to 6 inches. So it's perfect. Tons of room. I mean, some people will be able to fit, no finger on the back. They'll be able to put all of their fingers around the handle. Justin and I, we got big hands just a little bit, so we need to throw that finger back there even on this. But it is a drastic difference in terms of handle length for the better, and all while maintaining the same exact bottom corners. So you're not losing out on the stability, the sweet spot size, and the forgiveness that the original J2 shape was pretty much just known and loved for. So very, very, very happy with how this paddle came out. And if you want to, see more about my thoughts on these two paddles comparing one another, you can watch my comparison video that I just posted a couple of days ago. Long story short, too long didn't watch. This is barely less stable. The sweet spot is almost identical. Everything from power, pop, control, spin, feel off the face is virtually identical. Almost, you cannot discern quite a difference in my opinion. So I love this paddle. Very, very good. Justin, you've hit it a little bit. What are your thoughts on the new handle length and neck taper and how that performs compared to the other one?
Yeah, a couple quick hits. We've talked about on this podcast. We're hybrid lovers, both of us. So our favorite hybrid shapes, and up to this point, have been, let's say, like the Invader shape from Bread and Butter. Mm-hmm. But that's fine. The handle's a touch short, but it's totally fine. Actually, it's actually not a touch short. It's just a touch short for our preferences.
Right.
Grooven 16 HD. Great shape, like a true 5.5-ish, 5.6 handle. And now this is my favorite. Now, I say this, it's also worth noting that not many people will have played this one, but this is almost identical to the Neonic Astral, which is their hybrid shape. The only people who would have played with those are the people who got the Discord release or some of the ambassadors, because they were going to release the hybrid shape of the Prime X. A long story short, it didn't go well, but they had some that they sold off for really cheap. But this was they have new hybrid and elongated shapes. The Ionic Astral Hybrid just came out a little while ago, and it's nearly identical to this.
Yeah.
So all that to say is I can't choose between the two.
Also,
perfect,
virtually identical is the shape shifter / Supercore HX handle, almost
and this one
identical, and the Boomstick. And this one,
look. So not only the Boomstick, but if you've played the Era, SLK Era elongated, same shape. Obviously, this is an elongated shape, but if we're just talking about handle and throw, look at these. They are so incredibly similar. So for those of you who've tried the new elongated from Selkirk or SLK, you'll know what this handle feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so this is amazing. It's everything I wanted, going from the old J2 shape. So I did some math. I ran the differences in, basically we got to see a lot of the reviewer unit numbers for swing weight, twist weight, static weight for both the regular J2NF and then this J2NF. And I compiled them, averaged them, and then did a comparison. And basically the meat of it is that the only real changes that happen whenever you change the shape, it was a 1% loss in twist weight. So it's basically nothing, like if all else is the same, if they both weigh exactly 8 ounces, they both have a swing weight of 111 or 112 exactly, then the normal one might have a twist weight of 6.7, and this one might have a twist weight of 6.6 or 6.064 or something. It's basically no difference. The biggest difference in how it feels is the weight distribution. Of course, now we've taken a little weight away from here, so more of the weight distribution is up higher, which I really like.
Oh, yeah, personally. I did not mention that. Yeah, a little whippier feeling.
Yeah, so really good for flicks, wrist lag drives, and serves. It definitely fits my preference. I don't love paddles that have a ton of weight right here above your hand. That reminds me of the Magnus shape, all these shorthand elongated, and the original J2. It feels a little clunky to me. Some people really love that, so that's a preference thing. It's usually great for stability and blocks and resets where you're not moving the paddle, but as soon as you try to move it, it feels like you have to try to overcome the fact that all the balance is here to get the head really whipping. Yeah. So this has a little bit more whip with this shape, which love it. So good.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff. That was my biggest, fear. It's like, what is this going to maintain the stability, the forgiveness, and the huge sweet spot that the J2 was kind of known and loved for? So, and in my opinion, it certainly does that. Power pop, control spin, feel identical to the original short-handle J2NF. So, all good things. They also have the new J3 NF as well as the J7 NF, and this J7 is their elongated. It's really like it's 16.6, I believe, is the exact.
Yeah, I think it's 16.6 by 7.4. So it's like a touch longer and a touch shorter than most elongated.
Yeah,
but
16.
It's not a massive difference.
And 7. It's really like 7.3. So it's missing about a 0.1 on the full allowable dimensions, which I'm always a stickler for. And it looks a little thinner than most traditional elongated shape paddles. Has a nice long handle. And of the shapes, this one's probably going to be the one that you can get the most power output on drives and putaways. And then they have the standard shape, which is the J3NF. Very, very, very good standard shape. Long handle. This one is kind of what Justin described with the J2NF long handle. Is it felt a little more whippier and a little bit more powerful than your traditional standard shape, just because of the long handle and kind of whippy feel. Really love these paddles. They're also pretty damn stable and very forgiving. So just a solid standard shape. And if you prefer just a little bit wider face, a little bit more forgiving of a paddle, I would say this would probably be a better choice over the J2 NF long handle.
Very close. You played with this shape. You mained the J3K Pro for a long time. So Yeah, exactly what you just said. Everything I said about the J2 NF long handle, having more weight distribution up and giving more flick, this is even more so of that.
Yeah.
So I actually want to put some more time into this.
Yeah.
I might like this better than the J2 NF long handle, although I do think I'm not a huge fan of the looks. But the handle is like more than long enough. It's basically the same. And it's just a little bit more squared off and just a touch wider and about an edge guard shorter, of course, since it's a standard versus a hybrid. But
yep. I think all of these, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're all available now on pre-order. Pursuit 10 is the code, which brings them down to $171. So Honolulu finally has 3 shapes that are like very, very good. I almost wonder if it would be better for them to have a slightly more traditional elongated shape than the J7, but still, nonetheless, all 3 of these shapes are ones that are very good. So, yeah. Anything else about the NS before we move on?
No.
All right. Boomstik. We can finally say when these are releasing. They will be available for Labs members on August 11th, and then they will be available for the general public on August 14th. We still can't say the price, and we still cannot talk about the tech specs and technology that they're using and implementing in this. But we can talk about the playability and compare it to other paddles, which is what we are going to do. So I have 3 paddles that are super popular in terms of the power category paddles, which are the Joola Pro 4 Perseus, which is by far, I would say this is probably the most popular paddle on the market right now. I see more Joolas than literally anything else. I don't know how you feel, but
yeah, less so in my area, but yes, definitely when I travel to any bigger cities.
The Flik F1 TerraCore XC, which in my opinion is probably the most firepower you can get out of a paddle. It has
legally
insane pop. Like, this is the poppiest paddle that legally you can play with right now. Obviously, Gearbox Power PPE was on a different level, but that is extremely illegal. And then obviously the Boomstik. So we're going to be comparing these in terms of the playability and just overall performance. So we'll start with the Selkirk versus the Joola. In my opinion, I think the Selkirk is a much more complete paddle. It has a better shape, number 1. Number 2, it is a more stable and forgiving paddle out of the box. And the sweet spot and face, reactivity is much better than the Pro 4. The Pro 4, I don't know how you feel, but I find that it's really good right here to right here. Anything lower than about right here, you start to see drastic differences in the exit velocity and just like the consistency of the face. Whereas this paddle, the sweet spot's pretty massive. I mean, it's like just under the Selkirk logo all the way to kind of the bottom of this S. It is very big and provides equivalent power. Actually, excuse me, I'm sorry. It provides better power on drives and serves and is about as poppy, maybe just a touch more pop than the Joola Pro 4. Also, I do like that the handle length is much better. That's one thing people don't really talk about. This Pro 4, it's really like a 5.4 inch handle. It's slightly shorter than some other elongated paddles, just a hair. And I would pick the Selkirk Boomstik over the Pro 4 virtually any day, especially considering its construction, which we'll talk about on the 11th. What would you say would be your pick with the Boomstik versus the Pro 4? And do you have any other thoughts that you want to put in terms of those comparisons?
Yeah, my Pro 4 doesn't play very well anymore, unfortunately. So I haven't played with it in a while.
Not doing too good.
It's seen better days, but so I wasn't able to directly compare these, but yeah, I think you hit all the main points, and I would choose the Selkirk 10 out of 10 times
over
the Perseus. And the Perseus is very good. It's a very good paddle.
Perseus is a great paddle.
That's saying something about the Boomstik. And look, call us Shilkirks if you want. But this has actually been played with a lot, by the way, because I played with it quite a bit in Idaho. And then I've been like, every time I go out, I make someone play with it because people want to anyway. But also for my own testing, I'm trying to get an idea on the Infinigrit. And it honestly, it has like not changed. So, and I couldn't say the same for, raw carbon. So that's pretty promising. And again, there's other things we can't say, other reasons why we would choose it. But the handle alone, and then the very interesting, unique feel. We can talk about playability, so I can say how it feels.
Yeah, you can say how it feels, how it plays. Okay. You just can't talk about the tech specs.
Well, first off, it's called the Boomstik, so it's got a crazy loud sound. It's kind of satisfying, honestly.
Yeah.
But it has like this bouncy, dwelly feel that is like pretty fun. I don't know how to say it, but it's just, I'm not saying it makes me play my best, but it's fun to play with. So I actually prefer the feel. I like the feel over the Pro 4. But yeah. So I choose a Selkirk.
Yeah, and this is the Pro 4. It's kind of hard to tell in here, but it's a little bit louder and just kind of has a different tone.
And we'll see. Maybe the jury is still out. But what we do know about the Joola from the people I know and the people that we've both been around is the durability isn't the greatest. So
it's much improved on the 3S.
Feel good about it. It is improved, but it's still not like
not great.
I think it's still like below average compared to the market.
Almost everybody I know. Almost everybody I know who's owned a Pro 4, I'd say about 7 to 8 out of 10 have broken theirs.
Same.
There's a few,
probably like 75%.
Yeah, there's a few who have not. And
we don't know about the Boomstik yet, but they have a lifetime warranty. And we asked them specifically about breakage and things like that, and they were like, well, we have this lifetime warranty for a reason, and it will be honored. So that's promising.
Yeah. So let's talk Boomstik versus the Flik, which is... These are, in my opinion, the two most powerful and most firepower that you can get from paddles currently. The Flik is going to be slightly, just barely more barely more powerful, and it's noticeable how much more poppy it is, but it's not like it's a huge jump in pop. You can notice it immediately whenever you're playing these two side by side. The pop is more noticeably different, whereas the power is so close, it's going to be very hard to distinguish. However, the F1 in my testing hits a little bit harder, just barely more spin. And overall, obviously, I think we're not going to say the price of this, but we all know that this is going to be, a more budget friendly based on any Selkirk Labs paddles that we've seen in the past. But there's a couple of things that I didn't like about the Flik that made me prefer to play with the Boomstik. The first was the shorter handle. So as you guys can see, as I put them here, it's pretty substantial. Pretty substantial, yeah. The Selkirk Boomstik has a longer handle, which makes the balance point more ideal with what I prefer. I don't like a super low balance point, especially in an elongated shape. I despise that, if I'm being honest. But everything else is very close. Spin is very close. Just maybe the edge goes to the Flik F1, but with Infinigrit, longevity, more than likely, I'd put 99% confidence that this is going to last longer. The Boomstik is going to have better spin durability compared to the Flik. However, out the box, this is going to be just edging it. And then, obviously, stock form, the Boomstik is much more stable and much more playable out the box. But the Flik just needs a little bit of weight
to be customized.
Yes, you 100%.
They said that directly from the company. They're like, we made this lighter on purpose so that you can customize it, to your liking. So for those of, probably people nerdy enough to watch a podcast also put weighted tape on their paddles.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, my comparison is pretty simple. If they both were in this Selkirk shape, I think I would actually choose the Flik. It is more poppy, and I think that the spin difference is actually pretty significant. I think the Flik has like insane spin. And just my personal preference has always been this way, is I prefer paddles that like have more pop than power. You know, I actually don't mind playing with a real poppy paddle. That doesn't bother me, but I don't want a ton of power. So both of these are probably too powerful for me. But yeah. But yeah, given that the shapes aren't the same, I can't play with this. It's just the balance, the weight distribution, the short handle is not for me. Although if you never use two hands, it's fine. And about this handle, this is actually super high quality, typical body helix. Like this is a fully formed polyurethane handle, not just pallets. So it's like a one-piece handle, like a tennis racket. So it's super nice.
It's usable for two hands, but it's not ideal. You know, it's kind of like the 5.3-inch hybrid handles. Like those are usable, but I sure would love, you know, an extra tenth or a quarter of an inch.
I can't even. This middle finger just gets lost up here somewhere.
Yeah, Justin, you have a much more like angled, you know, grip than I do. I held it a little bit lower on the face, and kind of like really, I'm almost like perpendicular with the handle itself with my. You're a little bit more like this 45 degree, but so you would pick which one?
I would have to pick the Selkirk.
Yeah,
because I can't play with this shape. However, there are rumblings that this paddle is coming in hybrid and standard.
Yeah,
and that may change the comparison because the Boomstik also has a wide body. So it'll be fun if this comes in a standard to compare the wide body / standard of the Boomstik to the standard of this. But if we're just talking about elongated to elongated, these two paddles, I'd have to choose the Boomstik just for the handle and the balance and the shape. Yeah. But that's it. Even though I think the F1 has a little bit better spin, it's not enough to, override the other things I feel like I would need to sacrifice.
Yeah. Regardless, if you can handle a shorter handle, the Flik is about as good of a power battle as it can possibly be. I don't really think there's anything. If power is your full one and only, power and pop is your one and only thing that you're worried about, the F1
and spin.
Is probably
spin's bonkers.
Yeah, spin's crazy. So
what you need when you're hitting bombs?
Yeah, you definitely need it. So I can't remember if I said it, but if I didn't, I would pick the Boomstik just because of the shape. Performance-wise, they're so close, which is a huge win for both.
Feel completely different.
Body Helix and Selkirk, because we're talking the elites of the elite. So yeah, they feel drastically different. So we're going to move on. We talked a lot about those. Joola's got a lot of competition, man. I would be shocked if we don't see, some paddles take over their, some of their, market space. Obviously they're going to stay huge, but paddles are coming for them. All right. Speaking of the Joola Pro 4, I played with this Thrive Project Fury paddle. We talked about this last time. This is virtually a Joola clone in a hybrid shape. And, I say that it may sound a little negative, but at the same time, there's a reason why the Pro 4s are so popular. They are good paddles. And this lives up to the hype. This is exactly what I think everybody wants from Joola, but Joola is just not willing to give it right now. Maybe that'll change. I don't know. Haven't really heard anything from Joola in a while, but this paddle from Thrive smacks the shit out of the ball, as you would expect from a Gen 3 Joola clone, if you will. And people may think that's negative, but here's the thing, guys. Before the Joola Pro, the Gen 3s came out, everybody was cloning everybody. All the paddles were the exact same, and then
it's just stopped.
It's just how it goes.
Won't stop.
Yeah. So it may sound like a knock, but it's just kind of how the industry works right now. So
it still is kind of a knock, but yeah, I mean, that's up to them and their lawyers what they choose to do. That's what I say. It's like I'm on the consumer side for the most part.
Yeah.
So.
But no, these paddles kick ass. I asked the owner, I was like, are the cores compressed? Is there any issues with durability? He was like, we've had pretty substantial durability testing that they are confident. So maybe they changed a little bit about this, but with any Gen 3 polypropylene core, anything really Gen 2 to Gen 3 that's polypropylene core, there's probably gonna be a good chance that it will core crush at some point.
There's at least a percentage risk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a good chance, but
yeah. So just kind of have that in mind. However, this is a paddle that performs very well. It's stable enough. The spin is crazy. The power and pop is very, very good. I would say almost top tier. And it's just a very high performing paddle. Your traditional hybrid shape that you've seen with the Azul or the 6-0 double black diamond, Vatic Flash. It's going to be a little bit shorter of a handle compared to things like the J2 NF. But again, plenty of room, enough for two-handed backhands, just not quite as long as I would love to have it. So really like this paddle. It's $199. I think code Pursuit either saves you 10, maybe 15%. I'm not 100% sure, but if you want to pick this one up, I think it's on pre-order right now. It's pretty damn good. If you like the Pro 4, but dying for a hybrid, this is about as easy as a recommendation as it gets. So well done from Thrive. All right. That's it for paddles, man. We're going to talk about a new bag from FORWRD, which is... What is this bag called again?
Ranger,
yeah. This is the new bag from FORWRD, formerly known as Kitchen, and it is $165. Yeah, I got the white
bone
one.
color.
Yeah, I like it. I pulled it out of the box, and Tabitha was like, "Ooh, I like it."
It's not gonna be long before it's hers, right?
Yeah, that's yours. Yeah, it's hers almost immediately. So yeah, it's a solid bag. I actually think I like it more than the Court Caddy, just because the Court Caddy, while it is one of the nicest bags, I wish it had more room. And it's like this one is a good price, so you can expect it to just be kind of like a bag that I guess more. What's the word I'm looking for? People who are not quite as serious about bringing a bunch of paddles and a bunch of things and accessories and shoes and all these things packing into their more casual for the more casual player, but also somebody who wants a really, really high quality bag. I think these new Ranger bags from FORWRD are pretty sick. So they are bigger than I was expecting. I thought they were going to be pretty small, but for the price, I think they're pretty solid. They have enough room. I think you can fit, 3, maybe 4 paddles in here. So there's 2 sleeves to put your paddles, so you can easily fit 3 paddles in here. You can probably put 5, maybe 6 in here, but you wouldn't have any space for, balls or accessories or anything else.
There's a little ball pocket in there too.
Yeah, there is a little ball pocket on one side. You
got to keep your balls to the side. You can't have them meandering around in the middle. You got to keep all your balls.
It's on the opposite side of this water bottle holder, as you can see right here. They went with the zip instead of the magnets, which I'm a fan of. And I have the, what is this? I think this is the Owala 32-ounce bottle, and it fits extremely easy in there. So you could probably fit even more with that. That's not even pulling at the elastic band and netting. So you also have the the fence hooks on each one of the straps, and these straps are heavy duty. So this whole bag is made of ripstop, and it's just a solid bag. Recycled 600D.
Is it light?
Say that again?
Is it light?
It's much lighter than the Court Caddy. Much lighter.
That's my main thing with the Court Caddy is like, for the weight of it, you weren't able to bring that much. That's because it's like really sturdy.
Yeah.
in premium. And I've said this before on the podcast. That's not ideal for me for like packing paddles in and out and running to the court.
Yeah.
But I have found a good use for it. I pretty much use it as my camera bag. You've seen my little camera insert cube.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it slides perfectly in the kitchen bag, the FORWRD court caddy. And given that that's a little bit heavier and bulkier, I feel better about my camera and lenses being in there. It feels more protective. And I'm like, all right, that's the best use case for me for that. So, and it's still a very nice bag. In fact, it's pretty similar to a lot of the crazy expensive, really nice camera bags.
Yeah.
You know, that are more structured and heavier duty material. So, yeah. So for me, I think I would probably, if for pickleball, I'd probably choose that one over the court caddy as well, just because it's like lighter and
it's quick.
Easier to tote here and there.
I can't remember if they have the shoe cube that works with that or it's just with the court caddy, but I know that FORWRD does have a shoe cube. So
yeah, there's connection points on that one. You could probably connect the shoe cube to it.
Yeah, so that's an option there, or you can get one of those. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but they like kind of grab your shoe and then you can hook them onto your. Do you remember what the name is? That I bought one.
I don't remember the name, but essentially it's like a carabiner that clips on your bag, and then on the other side it's little clamps that clamp kind of the heel of your shoe, so then your shoes hang on the outside and get open air.
Yeah.
Pickleball Will showed it to me the first time. I think I pointed
that's
out to
what I
you.
remember.
It's pretty smart.
I bought one and those work great. I actually recommend those. I just prefer to just have everything in my. I use the Bodhi tour bag, which I use it because it's a great bag, number one. But I just carry so much crap to the. Every time I have a tripod, my camera, shoes, at the very least
paddles.
3 paddles, and all my tungsten tape and grips and everything. I could probably fit most of that. Would never be able to fit my shoes and tripod in there with all those things, but most of the other things would fit in this little this Ranger bag. So
I don't carry my camera as much as you do, so I just keep those things separate. I'm still like an ADV backpack guy for my paddles, and I often have 6, 8, 9 paddles because I'm testing prototypes. And then it's like if I need my camera also, then I just have 2 bags, which isn't that big of a deal. I just put one on each shoulder basically, or carry one in my hand. And,
got the single strap, so you're like double cool, dude.
Yeah, double cool guy, just really strong. You know,
really strong. Yeah, horrible on the right. All right. So if you want to purchase the FORWRD Ranger bag, it's $165. You can use code PURSUIT for free shipping. So yeah, thanks for sending that over, FORWRD. It's lives up to the quality that the previous court caddy had. We're gonna move on. This is kind of came from Braden from Pickleball Effect, but he was talking about the Owala water bottles, and that just kind of like made me think about, I own one, and kind of pisses me off how much I like these water bottles, and I'll tell you why. Me and my wife Tabitha, we both probably have 2 or 3 water bottles. She probably has like 17 water bottles. So every y'all know how it is. Every 3 months, if you're married, your wife or your significant other probably comes up to you and is like, I think I'm going to go buy a new water bottle. And it's like, you just bought one 3 months ago, and that was going to change your whole life in terms of how you stay hydrated. Why do you need another one? Tabitha came up to me one day. She's like, I want to buy one of these Owala water bottles. And I was like, you have 30 water bottles. You don't need another one. You're not buying one. And she's like, I really want one. And I was like, whatever, just go get it. She buys it. She has it for a couple of days. I go and grab it to, take a sip of water to, take some medicine. And I was like, oh no. Oh no.
You had to go get one for yourself.
This water bottle is incredible because it has this little spout right here where you can just drink it, normally. But it also has this built-in straw at the tip of the spout that you can drink it like a straw. And it crushes literally every single water bottle that I've ever had. Like, it's not even close. It's the dumbest thing ever. I was
isn't
so
the engineering
mad. Yeah.
Isn't the engineering of that water bottle like exactly what gas cans have been doing for like decades?
Probably.
Where
I
it's
don't
like
know.
you could pour it or you could put the straw in and then it has like a separate hole to allow air to get in.
Yeah.
So then you don't get the glug, glug, glug. You just get a straight flow.
That's
so
the best part.
Someone just was like, you know what gas cans do? Let's put it on a water bottle.
Let's do it right. Yeah. But no, I kid you not. These water bottles are the shit. Like, this is by far the best water bottle that I've ever used. Period. Nothing comes even close.
So what's your discount code, Shill?
I don't have a discount code, but I will put an Amazon affiliate link in the description. So if you guys want to buy one of these, I kid you not. Like, I'm somebody who's like, I don't want to buy a bunch of needless things that I already have. This destroys every water bottle I've ever had. Pisses me off how much I like these. So I'll never get a different water bottle unless it smashes this, which I can't imagine it will. So
you don't use
Owala
that
is
for
the
play,
king.
though, do you? That's just like for your hanging out and like driving around.
I'll bring it sometimes. You know, if it's like a place with a water fill station. Yeah,
you've seen me. I'm just like a jug guy. If I'm like going to play pickleball, I got like a jug.
Oh yeah,
like they
I do have
like
a
the
big
igloo
one.
Jugs or.
I do have a big
growler
giant
type situation.
I think it's a Stanley, maybe. It's a big old boy. It's like 44
like that,
ounces
I would just
minimum.
Chug that after like one game. And have to keep refilling it.
Yeah. This I think it comes in a 32, a 24, and maybe a 44. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, I think the 32 ounce is the one to get because it's just like you can use it at home if you're going to play pickleball and they have a water fountain that you can access. That's good enough. But yeah, if you're going to play at a court and the water fountains are far away, you're going to need something more. All right, King of Water Bottles. Who would have thought we would... Episode 50, we're going to talk about stupid TikTok trend.
You got to keep the girlies happy.
That's right. All you pickleball girlies, they come in a bunch of different colors. They're so cute. Wow. I got black. Shocker. All right. You ready for everybody's favorite segment?
I don't know which one that is, but
New Week, New Maine. Sponsored by Bodie Pickleball. If you're looking for tungsten tape, overgrips, bags, sleeves, it's sleeve season, baby. What else we got? Edge guard tape and a ton of other pickleball accessories. You can use code Pursuit to save 15% at checkout on any Bodie Pickleball product. Thank you, Bodie, for sponsoring New Week, New Maine. We love your grips. It's kind of ridiculous how many people will grab my paddle that I'm testing, and they're like, "What grip is this?" And I'm like, "Bodie Pickleball." Yeah. And they're like, "This is the best grip I've ever felt." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's the shit." So Bodie Pickleball's got some good stuff. That's my Bodie story for the week. All right. Anything else you want to add, or you want to jump straight into what your new main is? It's a new week, dude. You got to pick a new main. I mean, you don't have to, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Man, I'm halfway between two paddles, and it's surprising me. So I'm going to tell you the 1B first, and then we'll go to 1A, which is probably the real main. All right, here it is. 1B. Gearbox GX2 Power Hybrid. This paddle's so good. Mine is pretty fresh. I've only played a few games on it, and it doesn't really collect ball dust, so you can't even see. But I did play quite a few games on yours and on Rafa's. So I have more playtime on this paddle. It's really good, and honestly, it just offers a lot, and it's still very easy to play with and has like a satisfying feel. And something about it, like, I don't know what it is, but my drives are just really good with this paddle. Like,
this is
I don't know
a paddle that
they're just dipping like
stacks
crazy.
Up with the J2. It's such a good paddle. Such a good paddle.
Yeah, easy to play with. Feels great. So that one may become the main. Here's my reservation. I was texting with Chris, and you'll see on his review, and he's talked about it. There may be a break-in period. I'm not a huge fan of that. So we'll have to see. I'll keep playing with it, see if it starts breaking in. And usually what happens with me is if I like a paddle and it starts breaking in or changing, I'm like, I'm out. I just put it away.
Yeah.
I like, there are too many other good paddles. I don't even make it through the break-in. But I'd be silly if the main wasn't the J2NF long handle, right?
Oh my gosh. Look at this guy.
After I carped about this over and over, this handle for literally a year, 50 episodes, since J2K was Paddle of the Year last year, and I said, I can't use it. You know? And then here I am recently basically forcing myself to use the J2FC Plus because it's so damn good, but complaining about it at every turn because it's ruined my two-hand backhand. You know, I couldn't not use this, so J2NF long handle. I think I still would like a J2FC long handle better, personally.
Yeah.
Just my preference.
Right.
But maybe not. It's just so hot outside right now. And we've been playing in the mornings and we check every day. It's like 96 to 98% humidity. And luckily, my group is on the Lifetime ball now, not the Franklins anymore. So it's not as
switched.
mushy.
Wow.
Successful.
We'll talk a little bit about. Let's add a little Lifetime topic into before we move on. So,
true. I don't know how we haven't talked about it yet. But for my setup, here you go. This is about 9 inches of half gram per inch, so 4.5 grams on each side.
Did you just measure that with your hand?
Yeah, dude. This is look. This is wood shop things. This is carpenter things.
Oh,
whenever
my
you
God.
build stuff and work in the shop a lot, it actually pays dividends. Anyone who works in a shop and doesn't do this, which I doubt is anyone not listening, but get to know the different measurements on your hands, and you can use them all the time. This is how things were measured in the old days too. So my hand from the crease of my wrist to the tip of my finger is like 8.1 inches, 8.2 inches ish.
Wow.
So I measure all the time. And then my middle finger is almost 4 inches long. So anyway, all that to say, I use my hands to measure stuff roughly all the time. So that's the setup though, about 4.5 grams
of tape. I'm trying to measure my hand right now.
With this...
I'll have to do this another time. Oh, shit.
Let's not get into a measuring contest. But with this setup, I'm at I think it's 114 swing weight, which is still pretty low, and 7.4 twist weight or something too high, honestly.
Hey,
it might be higher than that. Anyway, more than enough stability while still keeping a low swing weight. Of course, has plenty of power. So, yeah, that's the main for now. I'm going to keep kind of switching back and forth between that and the gearbox and see if the gearbox takes over.
All right. Well, good choice. My main last week, as I said, was the Selkirk Boomstik. Did it stick around? Did it? Of course not, guys. What? Of course not. J2NF. Duh. I've been saying this for almost, I feel like it's months now. It's as soon as the J2NF long handle comes out, that will be my main. I let Richie play with it this morning, and he looks over me after about 5-10 points. He goes, "What's your discount code on this?" I was like, I'm going to have to get one. This paddle's ridiculously good. It just has everything that I loved about the original J2NF, but with a handle that is probably the best handle of any hybrid-shaped paddle I've ever played with. So, just such a good paddle, man. I have no, notes on this. It's just perfect. Kind of in that mid to upper tier power, mid to upper tier pop, and just weirdly easy to control. It's just, that's kind of a what we've kind of known to grow and love about paddles that have been coming out recently is they're very much easier to control than they were in the past. So for whatever reason, different construction methods, and then obviously the implementation of full foam, these paddles are just such a well-balanced paddle that I just love to play with. So J2NF long handle, Honolulu shills over here, bro. Just maining them, killing them, loving them. But I think it's a testament to how many people just love this paddle the moment I give it to them. They're like, God, this paddle's good. So NF, both of us, long handles. All right, let's talk about the Lifetime ball real quick. That is the new official ball of the PPA Tour, and I I have some thoughts about it. I know you have a lot of thoughts about it. There's been some people who love it, some people who hate it. It's been a little bit polarizing, honestly. I thought more polarizing than I was expecting.
Most like it.
Yeah,
right?
Not Isaac. Isaac hates that ball. But here, Isaac, I love you, bro. You are so wrong about that ball. That is.
He did say he was
by
ready.
far.
That this is his opinion, and he said he was ready for people to call him out for basically disagreeing with him. Isaac, I think he honestly, Isaac's not afraid to give his takes, and he's had a few wild ones over the last year. But I actually think for the most part, he has been, pretty good about, especially being outspoken about things that people don't talk about too often. And his takes have been pretty good. So listening to him, it made me reconsider. Listening to him talk about lifetime balls, like, am I like looking through this with like rose tinted glasses? Like, are there sorry, I just cut you off, but let me say this one thing about Isaac's take, and then we'll get to yours. So he was talking about inconsistent bounces and counting them and things like that. So I played a 2 hours and 10-minute session yesterday with one lifetime ball that was maybe 20 games in before we started. So then we played another 9 games, or 8 or 9. And I told everyone before we started playing, I was like, this is the ball, which my group's gotten used to playing with it. Most people like it because we play outside in the heat and the humidity. So it's way better than the Franklin, which was like the previous default. Anyway, I told everybody like, hey, this is the new ball. Like, I'm curious what you guys think about the speed and the bounce and things like that. And then we literally didn't talk about it until afterwards. And then I asked everybody, did you have any weird bounces? What did you think of the speed? And all 4 of us agreed there was one bad bounce the entire day. And it wasn't even the ball's fault. It landed on this little twig. And you could even see because it smashed the twig into the ground.
Oh,
but that was it. So there were actually 0 weird bounces that caused people to shank or whiff or get. And then I asked what they thought about the speed and the feel, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. It's a little bit faster than the Franklin. I mean, this again was a used one. They were like, it's faster than the Franklin, but we like that. And nobody, I think, unless you're like a ball snob or a paddle snob, then I was like, what about like the feel off the face? Like, did it feel like a weird ball or like a different ball? And they were like, I don't know that I noticed that.
Yeah.
So it may have a mushier feel than like Vulcans or Selkirks for sure, but given that a lot of people are coming from Franklins, they're never going to think the Lifetime feels mushy off the face.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, as a Franklin
now
X40,
you go. What's your take on it?
As a Franklin X40 lover, I would not say that the Lifetime ball is soft and mushy by any stretch of the imagination. Lifetime ball, I was a huge skeptic. When it is brand new, that thing is crazy fast, bounces pretty damn high. And I would say that if you're going to use the Lifetime ball just now, first few games can be a little rough, a little tougher than usual. It's going to be harder to keep in your blocks and drives and serves and all the shots that you can potentially sail along. You're going to have a higher degree of missing those shots.
And you had trial by fire because you tried it for the first time
altitude
at elevation.
Plus new. So we played with it quite a bit. It gets better the more you play with it. Kind of like the Selkirk balls. Like the Selkirk balls, brand new. God, I hate those balls. Just so many weird bounces. It's like almost it doesn't get good until it gets beat to shit. But the Lifetime ball is a lot quicker. Even still. The Lifetime ball is a lot quicker to get to that break-in point where it starts to feel normal, but you don't get weird bounces. In my experience, I can't think of a single time that we had a weird bounce with the Lifetime ball. I've been actually noticing a lot of weird skipping with X40s lately that I haven't been noticing. Maybe it's because I've been playing with the Lifetime ball so much. But I overall love the Lifetime ball once you play with it for about 7 to 8 games. I would say is probably the...
You think it's that long? I think it's like 3 games. 3 good games.
Yeah. I would trust Justin's opinion more than me because you've played a lot more with it. So,
and people are going to tell you it's less than that. I don't know that I'd listen to him. I mean, 3 games of, let's call it like 4-5-ish gameplay where the points are an average of 5 to 12 shots.
Right.
You know, I get it. If you're a 6-0 and your point last 20 shots,
you're
maybe
not
you'll break it
trashing
in.
pickleball.
But to me, the most noticeable thing when they're brand new, of course, you can blast serves and drives, so they're pretty fast for the first few games. But the thing that really, but that's no big deal. Whatever, someone serves or drives a little bit harder, not a big deal. The thing that changes gameplay for me is how high third shot drops bounce. Mm-hmm. Because if you understand, this is a new lifetime ball, most of the time, the right play when someone drops a third is to take a step back because it's going to bounce so high and then you can just rip it. It's fourths off the bounce become so much easier and so much more attackable, and that changes the flow of the game big time.
Yeah, you can't hit lofty drops with the lifetime ball when it's new. It's just you're going to be everything's getting attacked. High. Yeah, and dead dinks are not as dead as you would want them to be
when they're new. Yeah, the ball bouncing can be sped up pretty easily. Yeah, I said this jokingly, but I mean it seriously. For the first 3 games of a ball's life, I would take an X40. Mm-hmm. But then after 3 games, the X40 starts to heavily drop off and get very slow and mushy. For the next 47 games of a ball's life, I would take the lifetime ball. Yeah. And I had a couple marked ones that I was keeping up with when we were there in Utah. And one had about 20 games on it, or maybe 15 to 20. It was just newer, but still very used. And the other one had 40 games on it before I even brought it to you. I was like, this is an old ball. Dang. And then we got a third while we were there, which was brand new. That was our experience with the brand new one. But I played with you guys with the other 2 when we were at the Selkirk facility. Also, when we went to that other facility on the last day that we played. Yeah. And I didn't say anything to you guys, but I was switching them out, and nobody noticed or said anything different about the one that had 15 to 20 games versus one that had almost 50 games on it. Nice. So that's same good. One now I've topped 50 games with, and that one I'm kind of done with a little bit because it got so chewed up by that court. Do you remember that crazy court?
Oh my God, yeah, that court was crazy. What was that? Pickleball Kingdom? Was that what it was?
No, Peak Pickleball?
Yeah, Peak Pickleball. Gritty courts, very nice courts, but yeah, they chewed that ball up.
So the ball still bounces okay, but it's so incredibly rough right now. But yeah, I'm thinking, I think 50 games. You can get 50 games out of these balls, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
So yeah, here's my crazy plan. I just got 100 of them yesterday. A box of 100. I got it.
Oh baby.
Luckily, I got it when Pickleball Central was doing their 20% off sale, so I got it
for
a pretty good price. Yeah, but I just got the ball machine also, so I'm gonna just use those on my ball machine. They'll last forever, but then also they'll kind of break them in. So when I need a couple new gameplay balls, I'll just snag 2 out of the machine. So I never have to play with brand new ones. Yeah. And my group locally here, I would say a vast majority of people have liked them. And the past 2 times I played, I didn't even pull them out. Somebody was like, hey, you got those lifetime balls? I was like, yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like if people are asking, then that's a good sign. So yeah, I'm all on board. Honestly, I think I don't even hesitate anymore to say it's the best available ball, because every ball has a trade-off. And if the trade-off is it bounces too high for the first 3 games, I'm okay with that trade-off because we can find ways to break them in, whether drilling, ball machine, or just being first 3 games are going to be a little crazy, Yeah.
So. I would hope that the PPA is going to do what they did similarly with the Vulcan balls, which is make sure that they are all pre-broken in, used. Sorry, no, they did that with the Vulcans too.
Did they? Mm-hmm. I don't remember that. I know they did it with the Duras when they preconditioned them, which we heard was just putting them in a dryer with no heat, so it scuffed them up a little bit. I don't know if that would break lifetimes in the same way. It would just kind of get the sheen off of them.
Yeah, interesting.
Either way.
Yeah, it needs a little.
Most comments I've seen from pros actually really like them. Whenever it got announced, there were a bunch of tweets from pros.
They are definitely better than Vulcans.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. All right.
Not close.
Well, let's move on to old net gains. Man, I forgot my freaking hat. Clayton, I'm sorry. Clayton got me a net gains hat.
What?
Yeah. Let me go grab that. Hang tight. And we're back. So, Clayton, my boy, got one white one and one tan net gains hat for us. So thank you, Clayton. I appreciate it, dude. He said, "Happy 50 episode. Here's a hat for you."
That's awesome.
I gotta send you one. All right, so net gains this week is third shot drips and kind of what you should do with those. Now,
explain what a drip is for those who
a
don't know.
drip is a kind of a slow drive. It's a drive drop combo where you're just trying to get it to land as close to the kitchen line as you can, and you're not trying to smoke it. You're not trying to hit a hard drive, but you're also not, heavy topspin. You're also not trying to hit a drop that lands to the kitchen. And this is a very strategic shot, but also, in my opinion, one of the easier shots to hit. You have so much margin for error on drips, in my opinion, than you do with drops and drives. And the reason why you have more margin for error is who you're targeting with this shot. Learn this little trick from our boy Steven Mijangos, our favorite 5'3", and
Who's
I
taller
noticed
than that? Barely, but
damn, bro, shots fired. Sorry, Steven. I didn't say it. Just remember who your favorite PP guy is. Now, Steven is a very, very good pickleball player, and I noticed pretty quickly playing against him, he hits almost every single third at the returner. And I was like, Steven, do you like to hit every third at the returner? He's like, pretty much. And I was like, why do you do that? And I knew the answer, but like I wanted to hear it from a much better, higher level player than me, just to make sure that I wasn't, my little dumb brain didn't miss something that was obvious. But he was like, it's the easiest shot to hit. It's harder for them to hit a good fourth than someone who's at the kitchen line, stationary and ready. So with your thirds, I want you to just try this. If you are 3-5 to 4-5, I want you to try this for the next session you go to. Hit every third shot at the returner. It can be a drive, it can be a drop, but I would say preferably a drip is going to be the most effective because it's going to be at their feet. It's going to be low enough to where they have to take it out of the air or off the half volley, and you're going to find yourself seeing a lot of pop-ups or just fourths that aren't very good that allow you to get up to the kitchen very easy. So third shot drips at the returner. Let me know how much success you have with that. I think it'll be shocking to see how successful that combo is for, that pattern for a third is if you have never done it before, never thought about it before. So just a little quick hit for net gains. Justin, you want to add anything else to that before we move on?
I was going to say it's especially effective whenever they hit a pretty hard return, because then they have less time to make it, and then you catch them on the run to the kitchen. If they float a return, then they might be fully set by the time that you're hitting your third anyway, and then it's less important. But definitely whenever that can be the downside. Do you remember when we were in Utah and I was experimenting, I was just slapping returns. I was hitting returns really hard.
Yeah.
Every now and then it would get a weak third, but most of the time I felt like it was actually screwing me over because it was giving me less time to get up to the line and get set. Anyway, so that's kind of the point of hitting at the returner and hitting the drip. You give them this tough shot. But I play with a guy who basically always drives at the returner every single time, to the point where it's actually a little too predictable. It makes it a little bit easy. Yeah. So, but if you do it a lot and then people get to expect it, the other person at the net, especially if you have good success, they'll start cheating over to protect their partner. And then boom, you just opened up the line. Yeah. So that's sort of the combo. Get a few free points off that, and then their partner at the net's going to try to protect them more, and then they've just opened up their line. Yeah, you'll see that more from the 4-0 plus, but 3-5 to 4-0, I would imagine very few are going to figure that that pattern out very quickly. But very, very good shot, very effective pattern, and it also works amazingly well on people who are unwinding their stack. It's perfect in that scenario. A blatantly obvious example that I forgot to talk about that you made me think of whenever you were talking about yours. So, all right, that's net gains. We're going to move on to everyone's actual favorite segment, NERDTOWN, baby. Justin, Choo-choo.
Mayor, Oracle, take us there, dude. What are we talking about?
Speaking of moments, by the way, we talked about, moments in the podcast. This one is one of my favorite personal moments. This was like early in the episodes, dude. Early in the episodes, I was like still a little nervous, but I don't know. One day, you just said NERDTOWN, and I just screamed "all aboard" out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
All aboard! Oh yeah,
yeah. And literally, it made you laugh, and I heard my wife laughing in the other room while we were recording. So that's just a little moment. But NERDTOWN had become this thing. Then it was like getting on the train to NERDTOWN. I don't even know how the name came about, by the way.
You just said it to me one day. Yeah. You're like, I think I want to do a segment called NERDTOWN. And I was like, sure.
Oh, well, we just rode the train to NERDTOWN. All right.
That's right.
It's a long pod.
It's a long pod. We're 120 in, bro.
It's episode fucking 50. So
yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right. So I'm just going to ramble about Gen 3 versus Gen 4 and then show you guys. I brought some show and tell. You kind of already saw this earlier in the podcast if you were listening. But I'll give you some illustrations from my paddle graveyard. This is a Joola Pro 4 Perseus. Sorry, I'm going to have to hold the pieces together. But this is what we would call this goes here. This is what we would call a Gen 3 build, right? Which is a polypropylene honeycomb build enhanced with usually EVA, but some kind of extra perimeter foam. And we're not talking about like the expanding perimeter foam that we've seen in all Gen 2s. I've talked about that before. Sure, that may help performance, but that's not the purpose. It's actually for a manufacturing purpose if that's there. But this is more intentionally designed. Like in this case, we see what Joola calls their propulsion core. They have a little horseshoe cut out at the top. Then this white stuff is low density EVA, like literally feels a little bit like a marshmallow. And then down here, this is also, I'm actually not sure what type of foam this is. I think this is also EVA, but it's much more dense and springy. And this is just their Tech Flex. This is just an iteration on what their original Gen 3 was. They added this and made some changes. But yeah, so this is a Gen 3 design. This is what we call Gen 3. Honeycomb enhanced by additional foam. Then what we call Gen 4, I guess. Again, I'm going to soapbox at the end of this about why I hate the Gen names and why I think it's time to move away from them. But what we call Gen 4 would be like a full foam core. And that can take multiple iterations. Maybe the first one we really saw very popularized was the True Foam. This is the core out of the True Foam. This is a solid piece of foam. This is the entire core. No honeycomb, no plastic, a solid piece of foam. So people have pretty much called that Gen 4. It doesn't have to look like this. This one has the patterned voids and cutouts, but there are plenty of paddles that have solid foam in the same kind of orientation, but with no cutouts. Like this isn't a paddle, but this is a Diadem's blue core. This is a piece of the core. Just imagine this piece larger, shaped like a paddle with carbon fiber faces on it. Boom.
Yeah.
You got a blue core.
Full slab. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing is true with the 008. This one's cut up a little bit different, but you can see in there that is just that black foam fully across the whole side. And then on the sides here, you see like this yellow edge foam that you see in traditional Gen 2s. Again, that's not particularly there for performance. That's just part of the process. Here is the top of it, so you can kind of see what it looks like when you cross-cut it. Full foam, no voids, and then the edge foam. This is what we'll call Gen 4, right? So now we
Justin,
are seeing a little bit.
What about Gen 4.5?
Oh my God. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay. So now we're starting to see.
No shade at all at Enhance. No shade at them. It's just
honestly a little silly. Bit of shade.
Some people.
It's cheesy.
It's so cheesy. Yeah. Keep going. All right.
But I get it.
Didn't mean to derail the train.
No. That's where the train was headed. The train was headed to stop Gen 4.5, which is dumb. But now we'll see sort of the innovations and the changing in full foam from just, a pure slab like the 008, like the blue core, to start doing different things. Like, for instance, this is the Vatic V core, which may come back in a different iteration, but I just have this one to show you because it's cut up. It is very similar to the Enhance Gen 4.5, where there are partial voids cut out that go part of the way through. This one's a little mangled because I cut some of the foam out, but don't worry about it. You got to do what you got to do. But yeah, so now we're starting to see foam utilized in different ways. And then that brings us to most of what the kind of best and popular foam paddles are doing now, which is a combination, right? So I don't have one of these cut open, but this was my main, the J2 FC Plus. So imagine what I showed you on the Diadem Blue Core and the 008, where it's a solid slab of foam. And then now imagine the Joola with the EVA around the perimeter, combine those two things, and then you get something like this. This is a big slab of EPP as a central core. However, there is EVA lining the entire edge, just like a Gen 3. So here's where the confusion comes in. What is this? Is this a Gen 4? Is it a Gen 4.3? Is it a Gen 4.3? Is it a Gen 7? Do we add them together?
I would just like to call it Gen 69.
Yeah. Well,
it's our favorite.
Maybe not this one.
Yeah.
Maybe Gen 316 on this one.
316.
But yeah, so, and we see different iterations. You guys know the NF, which you can find x-rays of, is a similar situation. We got an EPP core, we have EVA around the outside, and then it's notched foam, NF. So it's like little puzzle pieces, like a gym floor where they snap together, right? And there's different designs that can be made, different shapes with this. What we found to be really performative, the EVA outer ring, we found that through Gen 3 using honeycomb, though, that, hey, this adds a lot of performance, right? This adds great feel. This adds some power. This is nice. However, the problem was allowing the EVA, which is a very soft, kind of non-structural material, to be part of the structure, let the honeycomb move too much. And honeycomb, when it's in a very solid state and contained and perfectly flat and not compromised, can actually be pretty strong, but it's not good for flexing around or moving around. It starts to compromise itself, essentially tear apart in different ways. And of course, we know if it's crushed at all, then it's bad. So, logical next step, what if we replace the honeycomb with something that's more durable and, can flex more and can rebound more and is less likely to break? Well, that's where EPP comes in. And we saw with these solid foam paddles, that everyone's saying we will warranty against core crush. There's no core crush. It has better ball rebound, but the feel is honestly similar to honeycomb because it's polypropylene, the same polymer, but slightly more dampened. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that's where we're at now. And this is why I think we have to kind of move on from the Gen names. I'm not saying we never call anything that was Gen 1, or Gen 2, or Gen 3, because all those were very clear up to that point. Clear. So we can keep those. But moving forward, if we're going to have all the reviewers, and honestly, a lot of the brands these days, showing off their tech via x-rays, dissections, and things like that, can we just start calling it what it is? And stop trying to make up, is this Gen 4.5? Is this Gen 4? Next person's going to come out and try to market Gen 5. It's just silly. Can we just say, this is an EPP? Yeah, it's an EPP floating core. Floating core just means that there's an outer ring of a softer foam, right? That allows a little bit of flotation and movement, right? And that softer foam could be EVA or not. We could say, this is a EPP core with an EVA ring. Great. An EPP floating core with a notched EVA, outer perimeter. Awesome. Can we just call it that? That's actually less confusing than trying to say, this is a Gen 4, but it has Gen 3 technology. You're like, what? So anyway, that's my soapbox. This is the construction, but did you want to talk about the playability differences or the major kind of traits of each of these Gen 3 versus Gen 4 or what? Yeah,
let's talk about just kind of the reasons why you'd pick one over the other. In my opinion, the answer is very simple. I would, in almost every single circumstance, if you're comparing a foam core with edge foam, whether it be a floating core or the propulsion style core, I would, in every single circumstance, pick the Gen 4 paddle over the Gen 3, just because we've seen, and you just talked about it, there's much more room for durability concerns with a Gen 3 paddle versus a Gen 4. These are, two different constructions. Let's just go with let's go with the NF, because these are very similar overall in terms of their construction and how
like
they're...
FC Plus and Joola is pretty similar.
Yeah, those are almost identical. So we'll just say this is the FC Plus for now. The FC Plus is 100% going to have a much higher likelihood of staying in spec compared to the Gen 3 polypropylene. And this isn't just a jab at Joola, but cores for EPP are much more likely to stay in a good solid state than these polypropylene cores, as Justin just mentioned. So I would almost in any circumstance pick the Gen 4 paddle, aka a foam paddle with edge foam enhanced, over a Gen 3 paddle. What about you?
Agree. And yes, for all those reasons, yes. And then I'll take it a step further and talk about playability and why I would also choose. And basically, if we're talking about the same construction, but one has a honeycomb center, one has EPP center, I will always take the EPP over the honeycomb, because I think what we've learned with EPP, it's actually a good material for paddles. It has really good compression fatigue resistance, meaning you can just hit it the same spot over and over and over and over and over again, and it like lasts for a long time, more so than honeycomb. Not only that, but the playability to me, when we move to foam, it's slightly more dampened than honeycomb. It's like a little less plasticky feeling, right? Which is nice. And I found that the ball response across the face feels more consistent, which translates to what people call a larger sweet spot.
Yeah.
And that's why you take something like the FC Plus and you say, damn, this whole face is a sweet spot, versus other honeycomb Gen 3s built very similarly do not feel that way.
Yeah. And to go one step further, and this is not just a Gen 4 EPP, playability characteristic, but what we've seen in a lot of these new EPP cores that are edge foam enhanced or floating cores is their power curve is much more predictable than the traditional Gen 3 paddles. And that's not just a Gen 4 EPP thing, because, well, the gearbox is kind of in its own construction with, ribbed
that's its own thing.
Cores. This also is an extremely linear paddle before break-in. I haven't gotten to the point where I can say that my paddle is fully broken in, but these paddles, in my opinion, are much easier to predict the power output. Therefore, they are so much easier to control than previous Gen 3 paddles that we've seen in the past with polypropylene cores. So, lots of reasons to why I would pick and think that the Gen 4 paddles are outperforming previous Gen 3 models.
That being said, I said this a second ago, but what we learned from Gen 3 should be used in full foam paddles, because we've seen sort of the first attempts at full foam where it's just a slab of solid foam with no EVA ring, no floating core, no diving board, no whatever you want to call it, right? And meh.
Boring.
Meh. Yeah, the performance is not that great. It's not horrible, but it's just like...
No. It's...
Well, let's take the things that we've learned along the way. And we're sort of seeing that. We see the equivalence of what is like Gen 1 construction, but just replace the honeycomb with foam. And yeah, it plays like a slightly better Gen 1. And then we see what is Gen 2 construction, but place the honeycomb with foam, which is like these full slabs like Blue Core and 008, and it plays essentially like a Gen 2, but has more durability. And now we're seeing full foam versions of Gen 3, and there's and more creative ways to interlink those foams and make them, help each other. And that's where we're unlocking a ton of playability. What we ranted about earlier, we're finally getting to the point where like powerful paddles can also have control, which hasn't really been the case up to this point. It's been like a strict trade-off with power and control up to this point. But we're just now at the point where we're like, this is high power, but hey, it's not totally no control. It actually is almost as controllable or as controllable as like an all-court paddle is, which is kind of crazy.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty wild how far paddles have come to, in terms of their overall performance. So, All right. I think we've kind of hit every topic, but anything else before we sign off, man?
There's a lot of good paddles coming, y'all. You know,
Woo,
a lot of good paddles. People are, you know how it goes. We're kind of pressing into the new frontier of this type of construction, and everyone's doing their version of it. And, you know, I'm lucky to be able to see behind the curtain, but I can tell you guys, there's some subtle differences all the way to significant differences with some of these designs, and they're pretty much all very good. So we're about to get even more spoiled with good paddles over the next, let's call it 6 months.
Yeah. All right. Episode 50. Thank you guys very much for your support. Oh, yeah.
I forgot to tell you. I guess I can tell the listeners too, but I was going to tell you. I quit. This is my last episode.
Thank God. I've been really trying to figure out how to say like a nice way to
need to get that off my chest.
You suck, and I don't want you to ever be a part of this podcast ever again. That's a joke, guys. Chill. Calm down. I know y'all are all freaking out. Justin's not going to quit. Right, Justin? Right?
What?
You're not going to quit? Are you going to quit? All right. Episode 50. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you so much for all the engagement. Y'all crack us up literally every episode with some of y'all's comments. We love you guys. We hope that you enjoy the 50% off codes for Chorus, Honolulu Pickleball Company, and Bread and Butter. Just a reminder, PP50. PP50 is the code. So thank you guys. Chorus, first come, first serve. Bread and Butter, first come, first serve. Honolulu Pickleball Company is currently just as long as Jam chooses. So could be a lot of paddles. Jam's usually pretty generous, so I don't imagine that it will go away super quickly. So thank y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Until the next one, if you have any questions, comments, topics that you'd like us to cover, be sure to hit those in the comment section below. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks for 50. Peace.